Alright, let's bloody do this thing.
Epic.
Hello.
Ooh. Hello. Welcome. How are... Ooh. No, that's working. It's working.
What?
How are we doing?
What wasn't working?
No, I could just see myself doing a little bit of spluttering as the transition happened. On Discord, but not on the actual stream itself.
Okay,
So
that's good.
it's all good. It's all good. But hey, how you doing, mate?
Good. Welcome in, everyone.
Oh.
Before we jump in, hello Scott, hello Corey, hello Warthird.
War is here. Yeah.
Yeah, I followed Warthird yesterday, and they followed back. So look at us.
Epic game of moments.
But yes, welcome everyone to episode 5 of the Bit of Content podcast, where today we have to deliver some condolences, but we'll go through those
a little bit later on.
Yeah.
It's it is actually, like, I mean, it's earlier than we usually do, but it's not like so early that it's a early stream,
compared to when we normally stream, like during the week. Yeah, on weekends.
Because that makes sense.
On weekends we usually stream earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Because during the week we stream after work, so
naturally it's a little bit later at that point. Hey, how's your week been? Last 2 weeks, I should say.
Last 2 weeks. Obviously, work. Don't need to talk about work too much. It was after the last episode. Had a flat, I guess you call it a flat inspection, from the property manager. She's lovely, so we had a bit of a yarn when she came through, and I was like, hey, we kind of want a dog. And she's just like, well, we know that on the tenancy agreement it says no pets, and we know that that's because the owner doesn't want to deal with everything. But she was just like, write up everything, like in an email, note down like maybe what kind of dog you guys are looking at, and send it through. And so I wrote up an email, sent it through. Haven't heard back yet, but I was just like, may as well send an email off. And I was like, in the email, I was like, if it's a no, it's a no. Like, we're not set on, like, if we don't get a dog, we're gonna fucking leave. Like, we're not like that. We're just like, we'll ask. If it's a yes, if it's a yes. If it's a no, it's a no. We'll carry on. No big deal. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. Otherwise, it's just been chugging along as normal. Megan's been working fucking hectic hours, as always. But she's got today off, and her sister's getting a new tattoo, so she went with her sister a couple hours ago to hang out with her. And then I was like, if he asks you if you want one, you're probably going to get one. She said yeah, but I don't know if they'll have time for that. I think her sister's the only booking with them today.
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
but yeah,
fair enough.
That's my last couple weeks in a nutshell. Just been chilling, been playing games, been streaming Sekiro. What about you? What are you up to?
Nice. Bit of like admin over the last couple of weeks, to be honest. I mean, work's work naturally, so it's just a bit busy getting all that stuff sorted. What else has happened? I just quit her job.
She did.
Yeah. So, the place that she was working at was not great, to be honest. It was management were pieces. I'm not going to out them.
No, we won't dox anyone.
Just yet. Because there might be some stuff in the background happening. So we're looking into that sort of stuff. What else is going on? It was really funny. She has gone through, like, she went through Seek to find a few. I love how you get the emotes floating
across
and all that. she got this original job through Seek. So they had like a person reach out to her and all that good stuff. And like legit, it's really funny. Like Friday was her last day, so yesterday was her last day. And in the morning, she gets a text from like her case person, being like, "Hey, are you interested in a reception/admin job?" Like the day that was her last day, which is so like I was like, "That's what are the odds that that happens?" And then I kind of thought about it, and if they've got a case, like if you have like a person who looks after you and they see that you've gone back into being a little bit more active on Seek or something, maybe that's they reach out to you then. So that was super weird, but I think she's gonna have a look at what they're offering, which is good. What else has been going on? Fucking borrowed a Xbox so I can play Fable 2 off one of the boys. Shouts out Joe. And I should be knocking that one out. I should be knocking that one out over the next few streams. I realize I should probably actually jump straight into 3 after that, because if I can avoid paying for another month of Game Pass, I will. Because the games that I want to play are the ones that are on Xbox, but because I'm borrowing the Xbox, it's not like I can, do all that sort of stuff. So, I think I might just jump straight into 3 after that, and then once I'm done with that, we'll jump into Dark Souls 3 and finish that saga. And that's kind of the end of it. There's a part of me.
Then you're done. Streaming mission accomplished.
Sad to have it be done. Yeah, there'll be a part of me that will be sad that it's over. That it's finished. But I also feel very. How do I word this? I feel very good about. I think I'll feel very accomplished about it at the end. Like I can say, hey, I've beaten all of the Souls games, all of the FromSoft games, every one of them. Fuck you, pay me. FromSoft, send me a sword like you did to that one guy.
Oh, what was his name?
Let me solo.
Let me solo her. Yeah.
How cool is that? He he got a sword sent to him.
That like the fact that he just became known. Like he didn't really do anything himself. It was just like people started noticing this guy with a pot on his head more and more, and then he just became this massive legend.
Massive legend here. So I'm curious about how like he came to be. So did he like go and change his? Did he start a new character to create Let Me Solo Her purely to do that? Or did he have Let Me Solo Her to begin with and was just like, I'm gonna... you know what I mean?
Like I would be surprised if he set out with the name Let Me Solo Her. And with the intent, like, I feel like he would have got to Millennia, bashed his head against the wall, and then figured out how to do it, and then just been like, I should probably help other people do this. And then more and more people just noticed this guy always there helping out, and then he just became this legend.
Yeah. Massive legend. What a massive legend.
For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, if you haven't played Elden Ring, there is a real life person whose character's name is Let Me Solo Her, and he, every day, I'm pretty sure, he would put his summon sign down out front of, I was gonna say arguably, but I would say the hardest boss in Elden Ring.
I would say, yeah.
And
I had the most losses against her for sure. Or refights against her, I guess.
Yeah. And he would want to kill her by himself, and that's what he did. And he blew up on Reddit. I think someone posted a clip of this guy helping them out, and then you would say, I mean, I'm sure there's an argument that her moves are predictable or whatever, and she's not actually hard. It's just the one move she has. But I like
yeah, it's one of those things I feel where it's like it's hard because of the it's hard because of the like although her moves are predictable, they're like brutally punishing. So if you don't read them correctly, then you're just gonna get your ass handed to you over and over again throughout the entirety of it. So it's I get where they're coming from.
I mean, that waterfall dance,
but
if she didn't have that, you would not have spent anywhere near as much time on that fight if it wasn't for the waterfall dance.
Yeah, and like because the dodge window of that, well, actually, apparently in patch 1.6, they made that dodge window bigger for her. I think that it was either they took. What did they do? They either took out her, like a hit part of her hitbox in the frame where you can roll through, or they made the iframes in that particular boss fight a little bit more coherent.
Right.
Not coherent, stretched, I guess is the best way of putting it. I
Okay.
don't know. I would definitely say though, like I had some I've played a lot of hard games, and she was definitely the most she was definitely the most attempts at a boss. I would say close second would be the Demon of Hatred. So good luck with that.
I tried fighting it a couple times at the end of the stream just to give it a go.
Yep.
And
yeah, I think the issue with the Demon of Hatred is that you can block his moves, but you only get one because he breaks your poise like straight away. And he's got 3 health pools.
Yeah.
So you have to kill him 3 times. What was he? Well, yeah. I would say she's definitely like the most attempts in a boss fight I've done outside of being like a child and going up against like Sephiroth or something like that in Kingdom Hearts. So yeah, it's one of those things.
It is one of those things. Millennia. It's been fucking 6 months. We're still talking about Millennia.
I know. I haven't even in all of my other characters. I haven't even got to that point yet. And I've got like 6 characters with like easily like 40 to 60 hours each.
Fuck. Like I only had the one character, played through it once, and I haven't been back since. But
I went ham in it, to be honest. I probably could have done. That's probably how I burnt myself out so much. Was just like I want to try this build. And I'll let you know the funnest one is still the stream one for me.
Yeah.
Any like just the strength build is just cool. It's fun. Yeah. What have you been playing outside of Sekiro? Been playing anything fun?
Not a whole lot. The only thing I've really been playing, and not a lot either, like same sort of theme that the last few podcast conversations have been, where if I'm not playing a game while I'm streaming, I'm not actually playing mini games. But the one game I have been playing and trying to get into more is Valorant, because when I was at high school, I played a lot of Counter-Strike, and so I have some muscle memory remaining from Counter-Strike, but I've got a few mates who play Valorant quite often, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna actually start giving it a go. But yeah, Valorant is very, very much in the same vein as Counter-Strike in terms of how shooting and everything works. Like you shouldn't move while shooting because it just throws everything off and all of that. Welcome in, Joseph. Welcome, Snaky.
Welcome.
But that's what I've been playing. But fuck, because Valorant's free. I don't know. Have you had much Not really.
The last first person shooter that I played properly would have been Overwatch.
Right.
And that would have been during the last character that was dropped when I was playing was Doomfist.
Yeah, and that's
so I haven't played it probably since 2015 maybe.
Yeah. But the reason I ask is because so Valorant's free to play. It's by Riot. They made League. Blah blah blah. But there are there are weapon skins and stuff that you buy in Valorant with real money, and they have battle passes and stuff where like you can get. It's very clear that they want you to spend more money on it because the gun skins and stuff you get in the battle pass, even the one you have to pay for, are pretty shit. Like they're not great compared to. I had no idea this was a thing. So in the store in Valorant, I think it's every couple weeks or something. There's like a big package you can get, which has the package there at the moment is a new one, and it has like 6 different guns or whatever. But the package all together, and like if you tally up how many Valorant points, I don't even know what they're called. It's like in New Zealand dollars, it's like $120.
And for what? Like
gunskins. And that's for like that's for 5 different guns, and there are literally some skins which cost that much for one gun.
Why? Well, no, I obviously know why, but why would anyone want to spend that money?
Like, I don't know when the last time they sold them was, but there was a big thing. I think it was like the first proper like sick skin that Valorant did, which is where your gun literally doesn't look like a gun anymore. It's like you're holding a dragon.
And I have seen that one in like the TikTok clips. And all that, yeah.
That skin is like $90.
Alright.
For one gun. It's not like you buy the skin and it applies to every gun. It's literally one gun.
Because each character it works kind of like Overwatch, right? Where it's like each character has a specific weapon that they use, or can everyone just use it?
It's more like Counter-Strike in that everyone chooses from the same pool of guns, but each agent has their own abilities and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, there are skins in the game that are literally $100, and people are buying them. Like a lot of people are buying them.
Man, Riot locked it down, eh? Because I can see here that Joseph said that they're NFTs, but I find that that can't be the case, right? Anyone can buy them.
Yeah, they're not literally NFTs, but they. Yeah. It's insane how, like, it changes the look of your gun, and they have this thing where they're like, these are all the benefits you get with buying this gun. It's like, it has a different skin, it has a different sound effect, it has like a different reload animation. So like the dragon one, when you reload it, the dragon like grabs the magazine and like puts it into itself. So like it looks cool is the main thing, but it's insane.
Interesting. And there's no like loot box?
No, you don't. There's no loot boxes.
Interesting. Okay.
There's, as far as I'm aware, there's no way to earn weapon skins without spending money. And again, they are just cosmetic. They don't provide any benefit to you as a player. It just looks cool. Like I saw that package and I was like, who the fuck would spend like that much money on 5 different weapon skins? I joined a game, everyone had it.
Jeez. I suppose if you look at it like free game, but if I were to pay for this game, I would probably, like, if you're looking at like, let's say Modern Warfare, you'd be paying like $90 for that, give or take. Probably more in New Zealand, but over in the States, or where games aren't super expensive, you could justify it by being like, this is my purchase of the game. right? Like you could have that kind of justification behind it. But like that was kind of where my thought process was going when I bought the Master Chief skin on
No, but yeah,
Fortnite.
but like that, how much was that? That's like $30 or something, if that.
Nah, because I only got the skin, so all I did was I spent $12 on the V-Bucks, bought the skin, and then had leftover V-Bucks for I had I think it was like 300 or like no, probably a little bit less than that left over, but it meant that I could buy another skin once I beat the battle pass.
Yeah,
So
exactly, because the battle pass
yeah,
gives you V-Bucks. So it's
yeah,
like, essentially, you can buy one battle pass and never have to buy it again if you save
yeah.
up your V-Bucks.
If you choose not to spend it on
Yeah.
cosmetics, then yeah. Um, Speaking of Fortnite,
Oh,
are we gonna? Are we gonna? There is a big part of me that's like, okay, low key might jump back into it.
oh, I'm 100%, and I'm buying
So
skins. Like, I'm
I'm
there.
buying both. I'm 100% buying both. There's no way that I wouldn't have Goku and Vegeta fucking cranking 90s on Master Chief. That just proves right there and then, that if you get killed by a default skin, Goku couldn't solo anyone.
No.
He's a default skin.
But yeah, the like, when I saw that tweet, I was like, what the fuck? Like, it just, because yeah, it's cool. Like, because there's Naruto. I'm not sure what other anime is in Fortnite at the moment. What other anime, if any, have characters?
There's I don't believe there are any other like anime
Oh,
with
like an
actual
actual, yeah. But there
yeah,
are
but
like
there are
anime.
characters that have
Yeah,
that
yeah.
same look to them. Goku and Vegeta look different to the way that the Naruto characters do, but I think that's because 3D models of those guys already exist in like
I haven't even actually
the
looked at what they
Kakarot
look
game
like.
and stuff like that. Their heads, you can tell that they had to make their hair smaller to I assume reduce the hitbox and stuff like that. But they definitely had to make they made Goku and Vegeta's heads smaller. Or maybe it's just the way that it looks, but it's definitely the hair doesn't look as like it usually does.
Oh wow, you can get him Ultra Instinct as well.
Yeah, and that's just like you buy the skin, right? And you can just change it whenever you want. So it's not like you have to buy like Goku base form and then Goku like Ultra Instinct. You can just buy one of them and then
Mm.
change throughout. So it's kind of epic, I'm not gonna lie. And as a result, I'm probably gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even if I never play,
That's the thing.
yeah, yeah. If I don't pick up Fortnite again, then I'll. But like that's the thing with my group of mates, right? We go through stints where we'll play like the last like third of the. Well, we have done it. We'll play through like the last third of the that season.
Mm.
And we'll go handy. We'll play it like every single night, and then we'll just like the next season starts up, and we're like, oh, we're back at square one, and we'll just stop playing. So it's like it's one of those things that we pick up low key whenever we get the chance. But fucking just such a good idea. I think who was it? The Apex anime skins are super good. Yeah. Same with what was it? It wasn't Modern Warfare, was it? It was one of the CODs
The
had
Attack on
the
Titan.
like yeah.
Fuck.
That I reckon they robbed Fortnite of the Attack on Titan
Like
skins.
they would have
The
paid
licensing for it.
so much money to
Yeah.
keep that, and the characters
Because
look terrible.
yeah, I reckon what the intention was Fortnite was gonna buy the rights to be able to use
Yeah.
them in Fortnite, and then to reset everything, they were going to do a rumbling situation, and wipe the entire map.
It would have been like, I love Warzone. I haven't played Warzone in a long time, but it should have gone to Fortnite. Like, can you imagine how
Yeah.
sick it would have been in Fortnite?
And they would have added the ODM gear.
Exactly. They would have had
they
ODM
already
gear.
had the Spider-Man stuff, so it was like they didn't have to code anything in terms of movement. All they had to do was change the way that it looked, and it would have run just
but
exactly
instead,
the same, right?
they ended up like Captain Levi in Warzone is the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, isn't it like he just looks like a normal dude with
he's
the gear, right, and the bowl cut.
And they added the Armored Titan, which looks even uglier.
The Armored Titan gives me the same heebie-jeebies that the... So, I'm gonna just do a quick
do it.
sidebar. But have you seen A Quiet Place?
Yes.
So you know the aliens that show up in there, and like when they like search for stuff, like their faces open up, and it like does like
blah
blah blah blah. Yeah. I don't have trypophobia looking at like the holes and all that sort of stuff, but that triggers that what I would assume people who do have trypophobia, that triggers like a fight or flight response for me. Kind of like if you've seen Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, of course.
You know when they cut off Jorah's his the rot or whatever it's called. It gives me the same feeling as when I saw that for the first time, and then the aliens and I was about to say keep quiet.
Quiet Place.
Again, Quiet Place. They had like the same. They have very very similar feelings to me, and when I saw the Attack on Titan skin for Warzone, that gave me like the exact same feeling. Like, but it's weird because in the actual anime, doesn't give me that feeling like at all. Like I'm like, yeah, Armored Titan doing business.
And I guess it's because Warzone is more realistic in quotation marks. And I guess it's the same reason why Levi looks the way he does. But that's why it's like if instead they had gone to Fortnite, it would have been so good. Like you said, if there was like a rumbling event or whatever, that would have been so fucking cool.
Well, like in the final 10, they could have been like, cool, one of you guys is the Attack Titan, and like you've got to find like an item that lets you transform, but you only get it for like 30 seconds or something like that, and your health is like triple, all that sort of good stuff. That would have been so cool. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Man, that would have been sick.
Instead, we have Attack on Titan characters in Warzone, where there was a Godzilla versus Kong event, which was like 2 years after the movie came out for some reason.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, I feel like I saw a lot of TikToks where that event didn't go well. Like people were just like trying to go after them, and then would like fly into them, and ragdoll physics would happen, and they'd fly to the other side of the map. Epic stuff.
They tried.
Shouts out. Activision. I think Activision did Warzone. Eh?
Yeah.
Shouts out Activision, multi-billion-dollar company, really fucking putting in God's work, eh? Yeah.
I'm thirsty, so I'm gonna do our promotion.
Okay, so what flavor did you get today?
3, 2, 1.
Holy moly! What are the odds?
I haven't actually tried this one yet, so
yeah. So this one's probably my favorite. But I'm a big fan of like melon, like watermelon flavored stuff. So I've enjoyed it. I really like the lemonade one.
I do like the lemonade one.
But I had that yesterday because I was.
Yeah, I've got my empty can from yesterday still here.
Yeah. Look at us. God, same brain, eh? Anyway, should we do a quick oh wait, do we want to
We got to get our screenshot for Instagram first so they can sponsor us. I'm going to hold it real close because it's
yeah, should we do it like a little like pop up in the corner or something? Hold on, let's see if I can get my camera sorted out.
I got to get the logo in. Hold on. I don't want my fingers blocking the logo.
How do I turn?
And then
dripping.
Smile.
Hold on.
All right, I'll grab a screenshot of that later, put that on Instagram. One day One day we'll get sponsored by V.
Like, could you imagine? It'd be so sick if we went to like Armageddon one day after becoming multi-million follower
Influencers.
Influencers, and they were like we literally are walking on gold. Like every time we take a step, the ground quakes beneath us. We're just doing
money moves.
We're slumming it because we know where we came from. And one of the reps from V come up to us and they're like, "Oh, please, we know that you wanted this earlier." And we look at them and we look them in the eye and we say, "Yeah, absolutely. Why would we not?
You know? Exactly."
But apparently, the big like sponsor for like streamers in New Zealand is it's Red Bull. Because they have like
that
a
makes
streamer
sense.
set up.
Yeah, there's that one in town.
Yeah,
I think. What's her name? That streamer who gave you $1, Kavi.
Yeah, Kavi. Yeah,
I saw. I think she streamed from there a few weeks ago.
Yeah, she did that. And I know a couple of people who've been given like the fridges and stuff like that.
V. Imagine a V fridge.
Boy, I would build a very poorly constructed thing to have it behind me so that you can see it forever. For just that's free advertising.
Imagine little baby Yoda sitting on a V fridge.
Yeah, imagine. Where is he? Where's my man's? Give me one sec. Imagine.
Oh, see, look at that.
Leonardo sitting on top of the V fridge.
Come on,
he's having a good time. He goes like this.
And influencer. Look at that, influencer with a V.
Yeah, and I'll put him out like that, and he can hold one.
Oh,
like right there. Fuck.
Fruitcore, come on. What are you doing?
Yeah.
All right, let's crack these open. I still haven't tried this one. I'm keen to give it a go. I am. I've never been the biggest fan of watermelon flavored drinks, but Megan's had this one and she said it's really nice, and she prefers this over the lemonade one. So
yeah, pineapple's also nice.
Hell yeah! Here we go.
He's a good fella.
Give it a sniff.
Like a fine wine.
Is there like a watermelon?
So I have an idea of what it tastes like and what it smells like, but I want to get your opinion.
There's
one
of those is it Part-Time Rangers? There's one of those alcohol drinks that smells like this.
Yeah, Part-Time Rangers is a
Do they have a watermelon one?
No, I think there's a Pals.
Yeah, it might be Pals. It might even be the pink Pals.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
There's also I now that you've kind of talked about like alcoholic drinks, there are a couple of those seltzer ones that kind of remind me of it. But I reckon it tastes like a watermelon chubba chub. That's my thoughts, theories, concerns.
That's pretty good.
What would you rate it?
I won't give it a number, but on the scale of V.
Yep.
So for me, the tippity top of that spectrum is standard blue V.
Yep.
For me, underneath your regular sugar full blue V would be one of these puppies, the yellow one.
Yep.
Underneath the yellow, I would put sugar-free blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say this sneaks in behind sugar-free blue.
Nice. I would say I would agree. I would agree. I feel like we're all kind of like Blue V. They'd have to release something pretty bloody epic to knock that off the throne.
Well, do you drink much Monster?
No.
So I would say it's yes. I would say for me, the Mango Loco is either on par with the Blue V or very close to a Blue V for me.
One of the Facebook pages that I follow is called Waikato Admins. And they just shitpost. Their whole thing is shitposting. They talk about how Jacinda wants to ban barbecues and all that good stuff. But it's funny. But one of their big things was the Mango Loco, and because they're quite a big page, I think they have maybe 75,000 likes or follows or whatever.
No, team. You froze for a bit.
But reached out to the guys who do Monster. Oh, hello.
You're good.
Just checking something. They when they were like, yeah, we're not releasing them anymore, because it was like a limited run. They reached out and they got sent a bunch of them.
Damn.
Before they got made it permanent. Yeah, and then I think they did they're really good, genuinely good guys. They did a big fundraiser for men's mental health and all that, and they made T-shirts. And one of them had the mango.
Mango Loco. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. So it's super popular. A lot of people are big fans of it. So naturally, I would say, of the monsters that I have had, i.e., that one, the white one, and the original one, I would put that at the very tippy top.
Yeah. There is a sugar-free Mango Loco, which, to be fair, is pretty good too. Nice. But there's also, because we're talking about energy drinks, there's also another monster. It's a similar color to this. It's like a pink one. But there's two. There's a pink and then there's a dark pink. There's Pipeline Punch, which is also top tier.
I think I've seen that one somewhere. I feel like it would just be at a dairy, right?
Yeah, that's the only place I've had it before is from a dairy.
Yeah.
Or what are they called? What are they called in other places? A convenience store?
Convenience store or a corner store?
Corner store?
I guess.
Bodega?
Because they're often on the corner. Bodega. I want to go to a bodega, get a fucking bacon and cheese.
A what? What'd you say?
Because I heard in New York you can't ask for a bacon, egg, and cheese. You got to say it really quickly and all together. I don't know.
So how do you say it?
It's I actually don't know. Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's. I believe that's how you would go about saying it. And then you say, I want it the Oki way, and you'll be like, man, Dim's bacon, egg, and cheese pushing massive P. These are good than a mug. That's what you'd say.
Oh, okay. Can we get our New York correspondent to just confirm that with us real quick? Can we get our man in the field? All right. So what was our first topic that we're going to talk about today? 45 minutes.
We're good at this. Look, I figured, because there are a few games that are still yet to release this year. That I figured, hey, why don't we have a chat about what we're looking at? And originally, of course, I had already kind of voiced this. I thought that they were going to hold off on dropping
Ragnarok,
God of War.
Yeah.
But now they aren't. So I figured, hey, is there anything in the works within the next year? So from the 13th of August 2022 to the same date 2023, is there anything that's kind of popped into your radar that you're looking at?
I mean, outside of Ragnarok, I don't think so. But I am really hoping. So I can't remember exactly when it was. It might have been a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago. There was an article that I was reading, which was from I think Miyazaki commented on it, where he said their next game was in the end of production, and they were also starting on the game after that. So I'm hoping, Like, I know there's been a lot of rumors that the next game from FromSoft is going to be them revisiting Armored Core, which I don't know if I would get behind, just because I never played Armored Core, so it might not be.
I don't even know what it is, if I'm being honest.
From my brief research, if you can call it that, it's just like a mech fighting and shooting game that they made years ago.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure they would. I don't know. It feels weird that their follow-up game from Elden Ring, like this fucking masterwork game, would be a game that no one really knows about. You know.
Well, there's like a very from my brief research, there's a very dedicated community to that game. They're not the hugest community, but there is a very passionate and dedicated community of Armored Core fans who apparently the last Armored Core game wasn't what everyone thought. I don't know how much input FromSoft had with the last one, but it wasn't the most well received game, let's say. And so people are hoping that because FromSoft is making the next one that it's going to be really good. I, as well as probably yourself and a lot of other people, would hope that their next game is just Bloodborne 2. But, you know, that's why I like, outside of Ragnarok, my hope is that at some point between now and, because I think they are doing E3 again next year.
Is it actually happening?
I think it is going to be E3, but with Sony not doing E3 anymore and Nintendo not doing E3, I don't know if E3 is worth it, but basically between now and this time next year, I would hope that we get some sort of confirmation that there is another Bloodborne coming. And I also hope that it's not just the PlayStation exclusive and that everyone gets to play it, because...
Well, I think what they really should do, if they want to get people hyped for Bloodborne 2, if that is something that they are working on, fucking release it on PC.
Yeah.
Or put out a 60 frame per second update on the game itself, because it's still running at 30, which isn't the end of the world, but like I feel like it'll revitalize so much of the games, like just like the love for that game, you know.
And because usually there's like a trend where developers will do like a remake or a remaster for a game and put it out to sort of gauge interest around whether or not they should do a sequel or another one.
Yeah.
And I don't think they really need to do that with Bloodborne. Like, I think it's well known that everyone wants another Bloodborne game, but they should still be like, oh, here you go. Here's a patch. It's 60 frames now on PS5, or it's also out on PC in a month, or whatever. Like, but that is...
Well, that's probably a contracting thing, right? That'll be a contracting thing with Sony.
Well, yeah, because Sony, I think the reason it's on PS4 only is because Sony put up a lot of the budget behind it.
Yeah.
But
and then the... Well, I mean, like, the thing is like, it's not like they can't do it, because, like, Spider-Man is the perfect example. Like, that's being released on PC, like, this month, I'm pretty sure.
I think it's out already.
Like... Oh, is it?
Yeah. I think I saw it on Steam when I opened it up. They're still charging a full price for it, though.
Oh, fuck that then.
It's $105. Yeah, it's $105 on Steam.
Jeez.
Apparently it is a very good port, though. I was watching reviews and it is a very good port. And
good.
Sony have been...
It would have sullied a lot of its, like...
Yeah.
You know, a lot of its name if they released a port that wasn't fantastic.
Sony...
I'm happy about that.
The Sony games that have come out on PC have all been ported really well. Outside of, I think, the first Horizon had some issues, which I think are all fixed now.
Yeah.
But from the reviews and stuff I was reading, the Spider-Man port on PC is really good. Runs perfectly fine.
Yeah. I can see Joseph talking about prequel with
Sekiro 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because do you think they are done with Dark Souls and Demon Souls?
Yes.
I do
Yeah,
too.
I think they're done with Dark Souls. There is a sliver of hope for Demon Souls based on it being like re-released on PS5.
Mm.
Um, but you know they are so intertwined to each other, like they're basically the same game, right? That you're in a they're in a position to be able to do that because one, like everyone who talks about Demon Souls, even the original, was very much like, yeah, this game had something special about it, and then when the remake came out, everyone was like, ah, man, they did such a good job. Blue Bridge, I think.
Blue Point, yeah.
Blue
So
Point. Blue Bridge is the boat.
Blue Point Blue Point were like the studio for remakes.
Yeah.
Because they did the Shadow of the Colossus one as well. And they, I think a couple months ago or so, they were actually acquired by Sony. So I hope they get to work on their own game and
Yeah.
not just
Just show
remake
off
something
like
else.
their because like they've shown off their chops, like they know what
Mm.
they're doing. So give them someone who can write and let them create something fucking cool, and something really good looking. Uh, yeah, cool.
But yeah,
I
that's
don't know
me,
what my
Ragnarok,
yeah.
and
I think
hopefully just an announcement or something of a
yep,
Bloodborne
yeah.
sequel.
That's a those are two very good calls. Like to be honest, mine is obviously gonna be Ragnarok as well.
Mm.
I really want to get. I would like a. I'd like an announcement for like more information on Crisis Core and when that's going to be released.
I'm pretty sure that
Is that
we.
an end of 2023
No,
release or is it
I think we're getting that
earlier
the
than we
end of
expect?
this year.
Ooh, I don't think that will. I think that'll tide people over in like terms of like the remake and everything like that. Um, but yeah, I'd be super keen for something like that.
I'm just
Um,
confirming with my sources,
nice.
aka
I.e.
Google.
Google. Uh,
No, I didn't ask you. My phone thought I was talking.
while we're on this kind of subject, because you've touched on everything that I was also kind of in the same vein for.
Mm.
Like, I'd love a Bloodborne sequel. A Sekiro sequel would be just as cool as well. Um, I would rather Bloodborne though.
Yeah,
Uh, um, but like what given what has been announced and what has come out this year, what's game of the year? What do you reckon game of the year is going to be?
I at this point,
Yeah.
not having played Ragnarok and assuming and hoping Ragnarok is of the same quality as God of War 2018,
Mm-hmm.
I would say right now I would choose Elden Ring.
Yep.
Um, and the only thing I see beating that I know is coming out by the end of the year is gonna be Ragnarok, and
Yep.
but it would be if it's the same tier as God of War 2018 and it's long enough where the journey's worth it
Mm-hmm.
and it's engaging, and I think they've said that it's going to be like it wraps up the Norse mythology portion.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
As long as it does all of that really well, I don't think, like, I can't say even if it does meet all of my expectations that it's immediately going to be my game of the year. It'll still be
Mm-hmm.
very close between that
Yeah.
and Elden Ring for me.
I think the as much as I do love Elden Ring, it's Ragnarok is going to be so much more accessible for people. Like you can set it to easy and play an entire story if you'd like. Like there's no reason for you to have to play it on hard. Whereas obviously Elden Ring doesn't have that option.
Hmm.
And if you look at the
Yes,
hold
it
on,
does. You just do a bleed build.
um, like if we go Elden Ring, completion rate. you'd be looking at like, because there are so many people who 33% of people who have purchased the game have got the achievement of beating the game.
Damn.
So with that being said, there's a case to be made that because people bought it but never beat it, that it might not get the votes that everyone would like it to get. But I will say Elden Ring fans are diehards and they'll riot if they don't. But like you said, if it does have, if Ragnarok does give out the same / better quality than the original one, the 2018 one, then I reckon we'll be in for a bit of a treat. And I think it'll be a real tough spot to call. But to be honest, as long as it's not a game about two parents turning into dolls, you know, that's all good with me. I haven't even played the game. Apparently it's good, but I just think you've made a very good point. You made a really good point when we talked about it on one of your streams. The caliber of those games prior to that one it's just a very odd switcheroo, right?
It's very weird to look at Game of the Years from like 2020 and before that, and then all of a sudden see the winner of last year was It Takes Two. It's like,
yeah.
And to be fair, I mean, like I think we talked about it, or I talked about it on one of my other streams. Like there weren't a whole lot of amazing games that came out last year to choose from, anyway. But it is weird.
There were some really good indie games that came out.
Yeah,
and it's a shame that like a lot of the top of the list stuff is that AAA stuff. Because like I don't know. I've had my fair share of AAA games, and then I'll be damned if I haven't played like fucking 100 hours of Stardew Valley in the last like 3 or 4 weeks. You know, like it's real. But I haven't played Red Dead 2, you know, in a while. And even when I did, I just like got to that point where I was like, these side missions, there's too many. I'm just gonna beat this game now, you know. That's kind of the same with like The Witcher and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I just hope it doesn't disappoint. They've got a lot to live up to, old Ragnarok. So
yeah, which is cool, and at the same time, I'm sure very, very fucking daunting.
100%.
Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Imagine releasing a game that like everyone loves, and then having to follow up on that. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Same with and I think this is kind of something that people have almost like with the release of the PC port for Spider-Man, no one's really been talking about 2, like their next game, and that game people fucking loved it. Like I really enjoyed the Spider-Man that came out, and then Miles Morales came out, and I really enjoyed that as well. But like they set up so perfectly for 2, so it's weird that there's no.
I think it's because like they've only had that one teaser trailer, and
yeah.
Oh, I still like that teaser trailer made it look so much like it was going to be co-op, and then they came out and said no co-op, and it's just like fuck.
It was it. I feel like they were like maybe that was the intention, and then like they tried it and they were just like there's too many moving parts going.
Yeah,
on, so
it must just not work. Like
yeah.
The reason they can't do it is because it just technology limits it. But I'm not a game developer, so
no, I wouldn't be surprised if they do something similar to GTA, where you can swap between the two of them, and like you can only do certain missions with Miles because he's got his like invisibility, so he's like more of the stealthy situations, which is in the comics the case between the two of them. But then also I'm curious as to whether or not they'll add in like what they'll do in terms of Venom, right? Because that's clearly what they're adding in as per the end of the first one. And whether or not they'll add in like the other spiders, you know what I mean? Like Spider Gwen and Silk and all that sort of stuff. It'll be interesting. But there is a lot of moving parts. For Spider-Man in general, he's got so much going on. So I don't imagine they'll be able to accomplish a co-op thing.
An interesting on talking about missions and stuff. An interesting thing I saw in one of the reviews for the PC port is they've added an option where so remember in Spider-Man the first one there were those stupid like puzzles where they added an option on the PC port where you can just skip them. Like you have an option to just not do them. And I liked that they added that option, and it made me wonder, like, if they've done that, surely they took on the feedback from everyone that they didn't like that. And the Mary Jane stuff that you had to do, no one liked that shit.
Like it snails paces a game that's so high paced.
Yeah. It's like we know, like, yes, Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Yes, he's got other stuff he needs to do. But I don't want to play that.
No, I don't want to do that. Like I think the going and visiting the shelter as Peter, because there was actual like movement going on, you know, like you it wasn't a walk around, sneak, you know, that sort of stuff. Like if they do that, they need to make it they need to make that better. Because he like near the end when they're in the train station, that kind of does all right. Like where Mary Jane's like, cool, I'll distract them, and then I'll call you to come grab them. Like that made
sense.
Like adding that additional thing was good, but when it's just a stealth mission and like all you're doing is sneaking around, you know, naturally it's gonna slow down the pace of everything that you're doing. But yeah, that's a good call out. I hope that if they do that again, that it's minuscule, like
or they just like, because it's both of them, it's Peter and Miles, where it's just like you don't have missions where you're walking around as civilians. You're just, oh, this mission we need Peter to go. Oh, this mission we need Miles to go because he's got electricity or whatever. So I hope it's like that. And then every now and then there's a mission where they team up and they do cool combo fights and
like
stuff.
Even do you? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I remember this right, but in Arkham Knight, when you get caught, when Batman gets caught by people, you can switch between like Batman and then like Nightwing. Is that right? Am I remembering that correctly, or is it?
I don't remember, but I never finished Arkham Knight.
Okay, I feel like there was a couple of fights where like you were Batman, obviously, and then like you could like press a button and then switch over to Nightwing in the middle of the fight. So something like, because it's so fast paced in those games, like you could be doing like that move where Batman's doing like 50,000 punches at once, and then switch to Nightwing, who's in the middle of doing like a aerial kick, and like just continue that combo going through. I feel like I remember that happening, but I'm also like, I haven't played Arkham Knight since like 2014 or something like that. Like I was definitely still living in Wellington when I played that game.
I think from the Arkham games, I only played Arkham Asylum and Arkham City.
Yeah.
And then there was like the Origins one, which I never played, and then Arkham Knight, which I probably played for a couple hours. And then I think I just got bored of the whole attack, counter, attack.
It's the same thing over and over again. the difference between the Batman Arkham game and the Spider-Man game is the pacing.
Yeah.
Is like the Batman game, like it's the same combat system. Attack, attack, dodge, basically. But because you're like you're so agile, like inhumanly agile. You're moving faster. You're traversing faster as well with the swinging and everything like that. So it doesn't get boring after a while.
For me, I spent a lot of time like not even doing anything, just swinging around. And because it's fun to just be Spider-Man. And I personally don't like. I love Batman. Batman is probably my favorite superhero, but I don't think it's fun being Batman. Like, but it's fucking so much fun to be Spider-Man and just zip around. And I spent a lot of time just doing that, like just swinging around the city.
Yeah, like I would say like a good quarter of my playtime was me just like when the trains get unlocked and you can fast travel. I was like, fuck that.
I don't think I ever fast traveled in either of those Spider-Man games.
Yeah. I was just like, yeah, let's swing somewhere. Let's go.
I think I did it once in Miles Morales to see how quick it was, and I was like, oh shit, that's really fucking quick. PS5, wow. And then never did it again.
Well, like in the PS4 version of Spider-Man, the quick travel cutscenes is like him like on the train. So he's like either like stuck to the back of the train and he's on his phone, or he's actually in the train, like sitting there. But those cutscenes between traveling don't exist on the PS5 because it loads too quickly.
It just loads.
So yeah. But yeah, that's it'll be interesting to see what they do with that, and when they really kind of call out, hey, this is going to be the release date. I reckon it'll be next year. I reckon they'll.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think
for next year.
It says, it's 100% next year. I think it said in the trailer. I can't remember if it just said a year or if it said like late 2023. But and then they're also making Wolverine, which
they're also doing the I think it's the Rising Suns.
Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns, that's it. Which is
Insomniac's not doing that. Someone else is. But I watched.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize. I think it's like an XCOM game.
Okay.
I watched like a gameplay trailer and I was like, oh, this is not what I thought this game was going to be.
Well, it's because it's released on both PlayStation and Sony, right? So, sorry, PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, I think 2K. I think doing Midnight Suns.
Yeah, because Sony owns Spider-Man, he only exists on the PlayStation version of the game.
And because Sony own Insomniac, so.
Oh, of course, yeah. All right, that makes sense.
And Insomniac are doing Wolverine, but Sony doesn't own like all Marvel properties, so other people can still make Marvel games.
Yeah,
I guess just not Spider-Man and Wolverine anymore. Solo games, I guess, because I know there's that Avengers game which didn't do very well, and
no, crashed.
Have you seen? There's like because they added Spider-Man, and I think Spider-Man's only available on PlayStation, but there's like clips of the Spider-Man game where you're swinging around in that game compared to like the Avengers game where you're Spider-Man and he looks so Gumby,
like a cardboard cutout swinging, right?
Oh, like and even his combat, it's like real slow and like janky, and like he zips up on top of a lamppost and he looks like a regular guy trying to get on top of a lamppost, and then it cuts to like
he like climbs up, like, all right.
Cuts to Spider-Man. On like the Spider-Man game where he's just like it's like what the fuck?
Like fucking boosting off them as well. Holy. That game shit the bed real hard, and it was funny because they put so much hype around it, and then like the player base went from like there was like pre-released stuff that they gave to a bunch of like YouTubers, and they were all like, Yeah, this isn't it. They drop the ball. Like, it looks really good, but it's not.
Because
I'm
I
not
remember
sure
when I
how they're
played the
gonna fix
demo.
it.
I played the demo and I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, this isn't gonna be
Like,
good.
I I definitely don't want to. I wouldn't have wanted to have money spent on that game. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um. What was the other thing? Um.
What's your second topic?
Hey, let's have a look. Where's my where?
Hold
There
on.
we go. Hold on. Give me a sec. Oh yeah. You know, we've consumed a lot of media over the
Hmm.
last uh 8 months. What has been your favorite, and then your runner-ups?
Do you
Doesn't have to
have?
be just games. It can be a
Yeah.
mix of everything.
Do you have answers for that?
I have one answer for movies, one answer for games, and one answer for
You go
TV
first.
shows. Cool. Uh, the movie that I think will win best film is Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think that that movie did something that I haven't watched or experienced in a very long time. Like, my my consumption of media is often have it on and I will be doing something else while it's on. I couldn't I couldn't put my like I had to like put my Switch away because I was like playing something on there, and I was like, no, I have to focus on what's happening. And it baffled me that Iz fell asleep during it, but you know, that's her thing. uh the last movie that did that for me was Parasite. So
Hmm.
very, very, very impressed by that movie. Uh in terms of TV shows, I know it sounds I think it was probably Miss Marvel, to be honest,
Okay.
this year. If I were watching Better Call Saul, I would say that it would probably be that. I already know that that show was good, but I just haven't got around to watching it yet. But I can't make an informed decision until I've actually watched it. So
Yeah.
I think Miss Marvel would fall into my. Ah, I really enjoyed Stranger Things though, so those two kind of cross over each other well. I really enjoyed The Boys, but it was really carried by two particular characters. Um, and it's not that it was bad, but it's just not. I don't I it's hard to recommend to people because of the content that's in it, right?
Yes.
But the Boys was great. Peacemaker was also good. I'd give that like a runner up, but I think it's mostly for the intro. The intros
The intro
I've
fucking
never
carried that show. Nothing to do with John Cena's comedic abilities. It's purely
Yeah.
the intro. I liked Peacemaker. I wasn't like
Yeah, same.
a huge like oh Peacemaker fucking is so good. Like
It
I
did something very different to
yeah.
the usual like DC TV shows, which are like like Arrow and Flash and all that. It did something that was, well, I mean, James Gunn being the director, naturally, it was going to have a little bit more quality to it,
Mm.
right? Like because he actually knows what he's up to. Um, but yeah, Peacemaker was definitely up there.
So you're kind of for TV shows. You're kind of Miss Marvel,
That,
Stranger Things.
I, now that I've talked about The Boys, like I think the end for me, the end could have been a lot more, which might be why I'm not putting it right at the top. But Jensen Ackles and Tony Starr were like phenomenal. Like if they don't win Emmys for their stuff, or at least Tony Starr as Homelander, if he doesn't win like an Emmy for Best Actor, I'll be pretty impressed. Um, but I would say my favorite TV show was probably Miss Marvel. I really enjoyed that. I think it was an easy watch and a fun watch, which is very different to what Marvel had been dropping over the last year. Like Moon Knight was good, but it was the same thing at the end. Big purple laser, bloody big monster. The end. Everything's back to normal, or is it?
I can't even remember how that show ended.
Moon Knight shows up.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, I remember now. Yeah,
they fight in the sky.
I remember all that, but I meant like right
yeah.
at the end. I couldn't, but now I remember they're in the limo. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And then in terms of games, it's probably I've only played probably like an hour and a bit of Cult of the Lamb, but I could see that winning indie game of the year quite easily. Like not even quite easily, very very easily. Just being like, yeah, this is a good game. So I'm excited to.
Are you going to stream it at all? Or?
Yes, but I don't know when. You know, like it's because I've got so much other stuff in the backlog. It's like when will I have time? But you have multiple save spots, so I can just I would just start a new one on stream, maybe do it for like 2 weeks and then jump to the next one. But I'll see if I can do the integration as well. And get that sorted out because it'll be fun. Get my followers to be the people in my cult.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. What about you, mate? What do you reckon?
For movies, I'm very much in the same sort of camp with Everything Everywhere All at Once. Shouts out to Eli for suggesting I watch that movie. Because I'd seen the trailer for it and I was like, oh yeah, like that looks interesting. I'd be keen to give it a go. And then I watched it and I was like, holy fuck, like this movie is
it's also just probably one of the best martial arts movies.
Oh, it's so good.
In a really long time, yeah.
Watching the like behind the scenes and like how much practical effects they use, I was like, holy shit, like this is fucking like the budget for that movie is really low. Like they did everything really well. If you haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, watch it. It's such a good movie. That would probably be like I'm going through movies that I've watched this year, and that would probably be my number one. I can't even think of anything else that I've watched this year that I think would come
take that spot,
close.
Yeah.
In terms of TV shows, so I only started watching Better Call Saul about a week ago. I tried watching it when it came out, but I think because it was coming out week by week, like it just didn't hold my attention. So now I'm getting to just binge it. Like I've watched 3 seasons over the last week. And the main reason I started watching it, and probably the main reason you want to watch it, is because I've been seeing reviews for like this season, the most recent season, and they're all just fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like on IMDb, the episodes that have come out recently are all like 9+, and I think there was one of the episodes from this season that's on at the moment is like 9.8 on IMDb. Wow. And so I'm getting through it, and it's not like, I'll be honest, it is a tiny bit of a slog.
Yeah, I've heard it's a real slow burn, but when he does like actually do when stuff actually happens, that's when like it makes up for it.
Yeah, I had this like I don't think it's much of a spoiler, but I had this kind of realization before the podcast when I was watching the last episode of season 3, where yes, it's about Saul Goodman and like how he becomes who he is by the start of Breaking Bad, but it's also got a lot of other characters from Breaking Bad in it.
Yeah.
One of which is Mike. Mike Ehrmantraut.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the show has to do with him as well.
Yeah.
He is in the show. He's in season 1, 2, 3. and obviously he's going to be in the whole show because he's still in Breaking Bad. Like that was part of it, as well as like watching the show, because you know a lot of these characters are not going to die. They're going to still be alive by the end of it because they're in Breaking Bad. It's kind of like you're like, well, there's no real sense of worry that anyone's going to get hurt in any of these situations. But
kind of the same as Kenobi, right? Like we
yeah,
know that
the difference is Vince Gilligan knows that, and he's not an idiot, and so he like the characters don't get put in positions where you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? Like, are they gonna make it out of this? Because it's like you already fucking know that they're going to, so they're never put in a position where you're questioning what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And yes, a big chunk of the show is about, well, I wouldn't even say a big chunk, but a decent amount of the show is about Mike. But the main crux of the show is about Saul and how he becomes this piece of shit lawyer that he is in Breaking Bad. And it's so far really good. Like I'm 3 seasons in, I'm probably gonna start season 4 this afternoon or tonight.
Yeah.
In an attempt to try and get as quickly as I can to season 6, because the season that's out at the moment is the last one, and I don't know how much you've seen about it, but there's
again, I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler, but you know what's going to happen. This last episode that's just come through, Jesse shows up.
Yeah,
I think
I've seen some stuff about how Walt and Jesse are in the last season to some degree, because I assume up until this point they weren't really part of it. Again, I'm only on the end of season 3.
Yeah, I think that when the blue myth starts to make its way into the city, that's when like they're like foreshadowed, but they haven't shown up.
So. Yeah, and I mean even the blue myth, like I'm at the end of season 3, that still hasn't shown up. So it's cool to see a lot of the characters from Breaking Bad that you really liked get some more spotlight on them. Yeah. Like Mike being one. It's cool to see why Mike is the way he is. There's some other characters that I won't really go through because there's no need. But
yeah,
if you like Breaking Bad, I would definitely recommend watching Better Call Saul.
Yeah, I think maybe it'll be something that I'll chuck on, like, because right now, Iz and I, all we're doing is we just chuck like American Dad on because we finished Family Guy, so we've just got something going on in the background while we chill out, you know. Yeah. So I could potentially just put that on for me, and that'll be the end of it. Yeah. I just don't want to pay fucking Neon bloody $19 or $17 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
My dad pays for it.
I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
I messaged my dad last week on Friday. I was like, Dad, do you have Neon? He goes, no, why? And I go, oh, I just trying to find an easy way to watch Better Call Saul. And he's like, give me a minute. And then he signed up for Neon. He's like, here's the login. I'm like, why did you sign up? He's like, there might be something I want to watch.
And I was just like, I will say, Neon does have a lot of stuff that if I was willing to rewatch certain things, Neon's got those things. Like it's got The Walking Dead, it's got Game of Thrones, it's got Fear of the Walking Dead, it's got Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. Like it's got all of those kinds of shows that if I wanted to rewatch something, Neon will likely have it.
Because that was part of it. Is like I want to watch Better Call Saul, and also the new Game of Thrones show comes out in a couple weeks. So now I have that. Yeah. And Megan's been rewatching Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. She's come home a couple of times while I've been watching, because we both really like Breaking Bad. Yeah. And she's come home while I'm watching Better Call Saul, and she doesn't really feel the show, and it's fair enough because a lot of season 1 at least is like it's a lawyer show. It's about lawyers.
It feels very different because I've watched, I think maybe like the first 2 episodes, but I think I was in the same boat as you where I just didn't watch all of it because it was coming out once a week.
Yeah.
So I just like I think it started in 2000.
Nah, 15 or 16, I think.
Yeah, hold on. Better Call Saul. Can you hear the dog barking?
Very quietly. It's fine.
Okay, cool. that shouts out fucking HyperX and shouts out me changing settings. So the HyperX should be able to pick up everything in this general
It's also,
vicinity.
we can only hear the dog when you're talking, because obviously it's picking everything up, but it's very quiet.
Yeah, it was in 2015 when it started. So yeah.
Because I was late on the Breaking Bad train as well.
Same.
I was at uni and there was like a Mexican exchange guy. Funnily enough, he was fucking Mexican. But we became really good mates, and he was talking about Breaking Bad, and I was like, oh, never watched it. And he's like, he like pulled me into the corner. He's like, you need to watch Breaking Bad. And I was like, what the fuck, man? He's like, you need to watch Breaking Bad. And so I sat there and watched it, and I was like, holy fuck, like this is... I think Breaking Bad is one of the best TV shows ever made.
Ever created? 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think Bryan Cranston is an amazing actor.
Yep.
And Aaron Paul being that supporting role to like Jesse being that supporting role to Walt created such a unique dynamic. And then like now that I think about it, actually the smart old man and the young idiot is essentially Rick and Morty. Which is essentially the Back to the Future shtick.
But and again, which is also, you can draw a parallel between Mike and Saul.
Yes, yeah.
Because there's a lot of I'd say similarities. It might even be intentional mirroring, where it's like you're watching more about Mike and how he becomes involved with the drug business and all of that shit, and also how Saul does it. So, but yeah, Joseph just said Breaking Bad was filmed where he lives. That is pretty cool.
New Mexico, right?
No idea.
I
know the show is set in Albuquerque.
Yeah. Had a teacher tell me he was same block where they filmed. What was it? 1248 Negra Aurora Lane.
Something like that.
I think that's the address.
Yeah, I haven't watched Breaking Bad in a long time. But yeah, once I finish Better Call Saul,
yeah,
I'm gonna rewatch it.
But yeah, I think I'll have to jump into that.
Huge tangent from the original question. But my favorite TV show from this year would probably be The Boys.
Yeah.
I think I had the same issue with Miss Marvel that I have with pretty much every Disney show, every Marvel show that had come out, which is where it ends. The end is just not good. And I think Miss Marvel started off really good, and for me, it just kept going downhill from there. Not to the point where at the end of it sucked, but I just think Miss Marvel kind of let itself fall off as it went along.
It's heated. Yeah, actually, you know what? You've convinced me. You've changed my mind. I think The Boys is probably on the top of my list as well.
Like that fight at the end of The Boys wasn't what I was hoping, but it didn't derail the whole show. Like the show still by the end of it was like, that was a fucking good season.
But I think also we're both in kind of an agreement where it's like it just didn't feel like they wanted to drop their toys. Like they left. So many people were still alive at the end of it, and I 150,000% believe that they were gauging Jensen Ackles when he first came out to depending on what the fans wanted, would depend on what they would do with him at the end of the show. So I reckon they probably had like a couple of endings where like one where he's just dead, or one where he just wipes the floor with everyone, and guns it, or one where what happened at the end of it happened. But
yeah. So that's my show, and it's hard to not pick Elden Ring as my game. I'm not like a I'm not a huge indie gamer. I've tried to get more into indie games over the last couple of years, but I honestly just can't. And I think it's because, like, growing up, I was never really into side scrollers or even roguelites or anything. Like, I've never really played roguelike games. I tried not Super Meat Boy, which is a good game.
Yes.
Binding of Isaac, I tried that. Never caught my attention enough for me to really get into it. But from all of the indie games that I have played, I would probably say Neon White is
that's a
my
good choice.
favorite game and I still haven't finished that game. I've only put like maybe 5 hours into that game, but it's just really fun.
There's you know how on TikTok where there's like the like Reddit, like text to speech reading Reddit stories and stuff like that. You know,
yeah,
like in the background,
and
it's
it's like
like
a
Minecraft
Minecraft.
jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed to that for me now.
Oh, really?
Neon White, yeah. So I've got that in the background instead of Minecraft. Minecraft jumpers.
Neon White's cool. Like, for anyone who
Yeah.
likes fast-paced shooters, fast-paced skill-based shooters, I guess it is a fun game, and it's like a puzzle game because you've got cards that do different abilities and stuff. But that game is really cool. I will finish it at some point. I have the same problem with it that a lot of other people have, which is the dialogue. It's very, like, the story behind it is, if you could call it a story, like, I don't even know why they put so much effort into the story, is very, very cheesy. And like, there's one point where, because it's all like anime sort of, it's a dating sim at the same time. And
I had no
yeah,
idea.
it's a dating sim at the same time. Like, you get gifts and you give them to people, and then you can date them or whatever. Haven't given anyone enough gifts to get to that point because I'm just like, I want to play the game.
Yeah.
But there's like one of the characters, when you're talking to her, she just starts complaining about like how big her boobs are, and it's so much of a hassle having really big boobs. And I'm just like, I just want to fucking play the game. Like,
that sort of, it's like, I don't know. I don't know how. Like, it must be a cultural thing, right? Because like it doesn't happen in Western
well,
media.
I'm gonna look up. Like, I don't even know who made the game because I feel like they're not a Eastern developer. They could be, but let me have a look.
While you're looking that up, the idea of like adding a dating sim to a game that's not like the whole point of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like an example of that is something like Persona. The thing with that is if you're going to add in that additional stuff that's not super relevant to the story itself, then you need to give reason behind it. So example is like in Persona, for you to if you've got a strong relationship with someone, you have better outcomes in battle. Or like they gain special abilities. And something like Hades, you get items from them, like useful items that you can use. So it's like there's a reason behind it, but it sounds to me like it's just they added it for the sake of adding it.
Yeah, because it was never outright. I don't think, unless I missed it, but it was never outright said to you, go to this place, talk to these people, and you will have an option to give them a gift. I found it on accident because I was like, I've had enough of like running these main levels. I'm gonna go see what all this other stuff is.
Yeah.
And then I went to this other place and it's like, talk to this person. And then eventually it was like, do you want to give them a gift? And I was like, oh, okay. And then it opened up all these side missions. I don't think it gives you anything other than like XP.
Well, a game like that, from my very minimal amount of like understanding of it, it doesn't seem like there's much to it outside of collect card gives you an ability, use ability to kill ink things,
Yeah.
jump to the next level. That's basically it.
Yeah, and
So
then
unless
like
they unlock new ink abilities or no new cards or something like that, maybe.
I don't think so because the levels, like the cards are predetermined based on the level. Like you have
Okay.
no input into what cards are on the level.
Yeah.
At
So it's
least
not an
again, unless it
it's not like
changes.
an RNG situation.
No,
It's just
like
yeah. Okay.
as far as I've gotten into the game, the cards are always the same and they're always in the same spots. And
Mhm.
it's just about killing all of the enemies and getting to the end as fast as possible.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that would be my indie pick
Nice.
for main
Nice.
games. I mean, what else came out this year?
What have I? I don't think
I
I've
don't
picked
think.
up any games
Nah.
this year outside of Elden Ring. New
Also,
Pokemon's coming out.
the developer is they're underneath Annapurna, and Annapurna is an American company. They made Stray as well,
Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and well, they're a publisher, but
Odds
they
that gets Game of the Year.
Stray.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't.
No, I hope it doesn't either, but I reckon that's got high chance.
I really hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
I like it's
I'm
cool.
watching.
You're a cat, but
Yeah. I'm watching the boys. Not the boys. Fuck. I'm watching Super Mega play it at the moment on YouTube. And they have like their not assistant. Yeah, I guess assistant or like one of the people who works with them. Set it up for them, and they downloaded a mod to make the cat look like CJ from San Andreas, but only Ryan knew about it. Matt had no clue. So when he was like, when it started, he was like, "What? Why is what?" And like for a second, he was like, "I'm I'm not gonna bring it up because maybe it's like a weird graphical glitch or something like that because it's legit like CJ like."
I
The
need to
character model
find
of
this.
CJ
I'm gonna
made
watch that
into a
video.
cat.
Snakey just talked
Cracks me
about
up.
Evil West. I think you know what Evil West is, and I think someone else, maybe Joseph. Joseph's
Uh,
also.
I have seen that there was a second one that got released, I think. So, uh, Weird West is the one that Joseph was
Oh,
talking
okay.
about. I think Evil West is a sequel to another game. It's very, it's a twin shooter. Is that right, Snaky?
Yeah, because I know there's one which is like a twin stick shooter, and then there's another one which is like a third person shooter with West in
Yeah,
the name as well, but I can't remember which one.
Weird West.
Weird West
Yeah.
is what Joseph's on about. Evil West. I think I've heard of it, but I can't remember
Mm.
what the game's about.
Well, it's funny because Weird West was released by Devolver
Mm,
uh,
mm.
Studios, and it's got some like people like people who play through it are like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. So like Joseph, for example, but scores wise, it's not great. It's like middling, but they're the ones who also released Cult of the Lamb,
Right.
and that was very clearly a game that because they're the producer, I believe, of it, or
Yeah, the publisher.
yeah, the publisher. But Devolver go into a bunch of stuff, like they did Into the Gungeon, they
Mm,
did Serious Sam, and all that sort of stuff. So they've got their fingers in a lot of honeypots, I think. But Cult of the Lamb definitely feels like a project that they were really like. I reckon we can crack down on like the how everyone really enjoyed Gungeon, but give it a little bit, make it a little bit more uh focused in, I guess, because Gungeon's very much like, cool, beat these guys, buy all these items, do all these things, and then you're done. It's eerily similar to that, except it's like also you have to control your like village basically, so you
right.
have to make sure that you're upkeeping everything. If you don't clean the followers shit, then they get sick, and if they get sick they can't worship, and if they can't worship you can't level up. So it's like
Right.
there's like a lot of like micromanaging stuff.
Okay.
But I think that'll do, like, just from like the hour and a half that I've played of it, I'm like, yeah, this is really good. But it's also, like I mentioned in our chat, it's like right up my alley. It's like
Mm,
exactly what I would want to play,
yeah.
Um
Cool.
cool. I can see. We have been talking for a hot minute. So do we want to move on to the last kind of uh talking point?
Yeah, let's do it.
Unless you have any final thoughts
I mean,
on the media that we've consumed this year.
If we make it quick,
Mhm.
because we're talking about media, did you have like an anime or manga from this year?
I have just read, and by read I mean I've skimmed over the last chapter of My Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen anything about that?
The manga, no.
Okay, all right. Would you mind if I spoiled it for you, or would you rather wait?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I would rather wait.
Cool. Then I am not going to say anything. That was what has happened though is a super. As long as what they've done doesn't get retconned, they've done a really interesting thing with this story.
Okay.
And that's all I'll say. For that one there.
Okay.
In terms of
You did freeze just before you said that, and I was like, "Is this going to be the perfect timing?" But you came back. You came back.
In terms of anime, I haven't really watched anything new this year.
Yeah.
Outside of I started watching Vinland Saga because it got put on Netflix.
Oh, is it? Cool.
Yeah, and it's also been dubbed, which is great because I
has.
can't read. That was the only reason that I didn't watch it.
Okay.
Originally. So I've enjoyed that. I've watched about 3 episodes of that, or 4
Cool.
episodes of that. So he hasn't turned into the killing machine that he turns into, and his old man isn't dead yet. So I know enough about Vinland Saga to know that that's what happens, but I don't know much else about it. But yeah, those are my animes. I haven't really watched anything new this year. Or and manga, I should say.
Yeah, I mean,
what about you, dude?
I was just wondering if you had. I'm pretty much the same. Like, I'm looking at Crunchyroll now, and outside of Attack on Titan, I haven't really watched anything. Yeah. Like, I'm halfway through episode 2 of season 1 of Mob Psycho. I've almost finished episode 4 of season 1 of JoJo's, but that's about it. I think Caitlin and Eli have been watching Spy Family. I think
I've heard really good things.
Yeah,
about that.
I watched the first episode of Spy Family and I liked it, but Caitlin and Eli seem to still be watching that. But like, it would probably be Attack on Titan purely because that's all I've really watched.
Yeah.
I
kind of forgot that was this year. Like,
it was like January, maybe February when it finished.
Yeah.
And for manga, I've only read Berserk this year. And
that's a fucking good pick. That's a real good pick, actually. So you know how, like, because I know a lot about Berserk because I've watched videos about it, but I haven't read it in full. And so I was like, when I went back to Mastodon, I was like, yeah, bugger it, I'm gonna read it while I was on the train. So I just started scrolling through, and I got through like 4 chapters before we hit bad internet or bad data or whatever. And I'm like, I get why people like this so much. Like even the beginning of it is very well written, and like I think I took a screenshot of it. I'll post it in the Discord later. But there's a panel where Guts is, Crocs of Steel.
Crocs of Steel, thank you for the follow. Greetings from the US of A, bros. Greetings. Welcome.
Welcome in, dude.
We're talking about Berserk at the moment.
Yeah.
Thank you for the follow.
There was one panel with Guts, and he's got his sword on his shoulder. Or like, I think he's got a sword on his shoulder, and it just like goes into like the sky, and it just like keeps going, and it's like massive, and that's like the whole point of like his art style is very, very like you're not meant to kind of like it clearly has a length, but there's like a unique thing about how like it's meant to represent more than just like it being a big sword. Like they talk a lot about how it's like just a hunk of iron essentially. It can't cut. It just like smashes through people. So
it's like every time someone new sees him, they're like, he can't carry that. Like,
yeah,
no man can carry this sword. And then he swings it once, and they're all like, "Oh my god, he can!"
Telling them. Yeah, I reckon he should wait. I reckon he would waste Griffin now. Like,
so have you read the last few chapters, the new ones? Okay,
I have not the new ones, no. But like, I have seen that he is back, but there's not enough like.
Oh,
that's the end of the chapter.
I haven't because the new one came out yesterday or the day before. I haven't finished.
So I don't know if that was even a thing. Maybe.
Well, Griffith did find. So spoilers, huge spoilers for Berserk. I'm going to talk about it. So I can't remember exactly when, but there was a point where they're on the beach and like Guts gets saved by like a little elf-looking kid.
Yeah.
And then you get to the point in more of the later chapters where you find out that the little elf-looking kid is actually Griffith when he goes to sleep or whatever. Like, I'm sure that someone can explain it a lot better than I can, but like, he is the little black-haired Moonlight Boy. That's the one, and he finds because they cure Casca. She gets her memories back, but every time she gets near Guts, everything comes rushing back to her, and she goes like full lockdown mode again. But they're with the mages and stuff on that island, and Griffith finds them. Zod comes with Griffith. They have a fight, and then Griffith takes off with Casca, and then the most recent chapter is about how the place where all the mages and stuff are is just getting fucked up. And yeah, so I haven't finished the latest chapter. I need to read the rest of it probably again after the podcast. But reading all of Berserk this year was a fucking experience. There were nights where I would read like 15, 20 chapters before going to bed because it's just like, fuck, I need to see what happens now.
Yeah.
Fuck, now I need to see what happens now. And it would get to the point where I'm like, no, I have to go to sleep because it's too late.
Yeah.
And Berserk is great. Like, it's fucking fantastic. And I know, like, the animated versions of it haven't been as good. Hopefully, someone manages to give it the justice it deserves. But the manga itself is fantastic. I really liked it. Yeah. Thank you for that link in the Discord as well, Sneaky. I'll have a look at that.
Epic.
Yeah. But if you haven't read it all, like, fuck, read it, man. Like,
it's funny because I love like all of the stuff that I've consumed of it. I love the idea of it. I just haven't got around to reading it, and I think naturally it comes a little bit harder with like one having so much that I'm doing, just constantly, but also like reading. You know, I'm not great at that.
That's true.
So a lot of it comes from me just making sure that I'm actually taking in what I'm reading, and it's not like I'm just looking at the pages now. So that's why I will guarantee I'll be up to date with this within the next like 2 or 3 months. But it'll just take me a second. Like once I start to wean off of being like, what am I reading now? I'll just like lock my phone and then go do something else until I can actually consume it again.
But that would be fuck. There's like, I think I posted it in my Discord and Scott replied to it. But there's like out of the
Penis
whole.
monsters?
Oh, not even that. Like that was a whole nother
Peepers
thing.
monsters?
But there was an arc where they were on a boat going to this island where they are now. And that was the most boring part of all
Yeah.
400 chapters or whatever. And it was maybe, I can't remember off the top of my head, maybe 20 or so chapters where they were fucking around on this boat. And I was getting fucking tired of reading it over like
Yeah.
a few days. And then I saw that period of time was years in real time where like people were reading that for years.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck. Like I was sick of this shit after 3 days. Like how were people dealing with that for years? It just blew my mind. But that was really, out of all 300 and whatever chapters, that was really the only bit that bored me.
What do you reckon? What stuff have you consumed?
Luca, what do you
got
think?
Something to say? What do you reckon? Yeah, maybe a couple of. Yeah, all right. I get it. I'll take it back down. Yeah, I absolutely will. I'll just have to. Scott's made some good points about watching the movies and then reading from that point, which I think a lot of people have done. But yeah, I'll probably watch a long YouTube video. There are a couple that were on my radar that keep popping up. So I might have to do something like that. But I'll read it. I'll just read it.
But that's
makes it easy enough.
That's just one thing I wanted to touch on. But what was our last thing we were going to talk about?
Our last one is that now that both of us have been streaming for over a year, what are we feeling? What are we thinking? How are we going?
So I can't see exactly when I first started streaming because I made. Do I have account age? Yeah, I do have account age. So so I created this Twitch account almost 11 years ago.
Jeez.
And fuck, that's a long time ago.
That is a long time ago, man. I didn't realize Twitch was around in 2012.
I must have been a fucking early adopter of Twitch.
Yeah.
But I remember because I have wanted to stream probably since then. Yeah. Like, and at that time I was at uni, so I couldn't really do it. And I probably streamed a lot. With the PS4 letting you stream straight to Twitch, I think I would have started. Yes, I am old. Epsilon. Thank you. But the first, like, I started streaming properly, like frequently, probably around April last year.
Yeah,
is when I made like a schedule and stuck to it. And I think I got affiliate. It was near my birthday, so it was like mid to late May is when I got affiliate. And since then, I've streamed as regularly as I can. For the last couple months, I've been sticking to that pretty well, which is where I try and stream 3 times a week. The biggest thing I have learnt is that, and I'm sure a lot of people know this, but it's to take it seriously, but not to the point where you're treating it like a second job. Make a schedule, try and stick to the schedule as much as you can, but realize at the end of the day, it is Twitch, it is another thing, and you do have your own life, and you have other stuff that you need to do. Consistency is the hardest thing, but even if you can only stream once a week, stream once a week. If you find a time which you know is most likely going to be free, even if it's like an hour or 2 hours, if you know there's going to be a period of time where you're always going to have that time available every week, make that your streaming time. And
if you find yourself having time, just in like, I've got a couple of hours tonight. you know, like that's kind of like what you do, Epsilon, right? You
Exactly.
will just play when you get the opportunity to. But you're right with that consistency, for sure. But continue.
Yeah, well, the thing with streaming randomly is that it's a lot harder to keep a consistent audience when you do stream randomly, because there have been times where, like, if I've got a day off or I'm on leave or whatever, I'll stream randomly and hardly anyone will come through. And the reason for that is because you're in the same boat, because we have set up like times for when we're going to be streaming, and we do that every week. Our viewers know, oh, if I go to Twitch now, Marcus or Vak will be streaming, regardless of a Twitch notification, which don't even work anyway, or a post in Discord. Though generally they'll know, like, if I go to Twitch at this time on this day, one of us will be streaming, or whatever, whoever they watch. And it is like, while I do say don't treat it like a second job, the hardest bit is that to see growth and to I will say make money, but that's not the point of it. But to actually make money and see growth, you do have to be consistent with it. Yep. Like, I have made money from Twitch. I have received maybe four or five payouts from Twitch over the last year and a bit. And it is nice to get money, and the money comes from all of you guys who are watching and like subscribing and donating and giving bits and stuff. So it's your guys' money that is coming to me, and I guess ads. But I think I looked at my revenue from ads, and it's like 5 cents over the last 4 months or whatever.
This month, and I think it's because a lot of my viewers obviously aren't subbed, which is absolutely fine. But a lot of my AdSense, I get a bit more AdSense than I would have thought. So I have like, I think I've got like $1.60 sitting on my AdSense, like thing, which is a lot considering how much I stream, and how many things are going on. I don't do mid rolls. I think if people did mid roll ads, you're likely to get a few more bucks from that.
Yeah, I think I have. Can you turn mid rolls off?
Yes, yeah, I've turned mine
maybe I
off.
should do that.
So when it comes to ads, you can either set mid rolls. So halfway through you'll get another ad going through.
I should probably do that.
An ad, or you can change how long ads are going to be at the beginning of your stream. I've run into a couple of people who I've just been, I was like, oh yeah, I'll have a look at your stream, and then I start their stream, and I've got 3
like pre-roll
1 minute ads. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, so I had to wait 3 minutes before I can actually watch your content. Nah.
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out how to reduce the amount of ads as much as possible. Like, because the ad revenue I've had over the last year and a bit is nothing. So
you can't turn it off.
That's the annoying bit.
So it has to, and it's almost always at the beginning of your stream. So if you have someone who isn't subbed to you, they're likely going to get an ad at the beginning of your stream, even if you play it by thing, unless they've got something that stops that. In which case,
fuck your ads. Yeah, and to be fair, if any of you have Adblock Plus installed and you're not subbed and watching me, fucking go ahead. Like,
yeah, I don't give a single shit.
Go.
If I'm gonna make money off an ad, it's gonna be me plugging something. I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, it's gonna be us plugging something.
Yeah.
Yum! The delicious taste of pineapple and watermelon V refresh.
Oh, mine's definitely not empty. But yeah, it's like the idea of ads on anything that I do is cringe to me.
Yeah,
because
but
I hate ads.
yeah. So like my biggest takeaways and tips. Consistency is the first one. Like I said, even if it's 1 day a week, even if it's that, like I say small, but that's still like a bit of time that you are dedicating to this. It is consistency, and that is the hardest, especially for people who, like you and I, are in a position where we work the same hours every week, so we can do that. There are people who work shifts, so their shifts change. They can't always stay dedicated to those specific times, or like the days you're working change, so you may not always have the same days off. Like I get that, but it's just about being as consistent as you can be. And the hardest thing I have found, and maybe you have found as well, Marcus, is what game you actually stream. That is the hardest thing, is finding what game to stream, and then after that first stream, deciding whether or not you continue streaming that game or if you change to another game. So like I've played a lot of different games on Twitch. Some of them once or twice, like Jump King, I played a few times, and at the time that game, viewership wise, did pretty well. But I was not having the most fun playing that game. Like it was entertaining for the people watching, and I was having fun with it initially, but it got to the point where I sat there and I was like, I can't sit here for two hours or 3 hours playing this game 3 times a week or whatever.
I played Getting Over It, and that game gave me like stress headaches.
Yeah.
Like I was getting like hypertension like here when I was playing it, and I was just like, why the fuck am I doing that to myself? Like why? And like I never streamed it, but I don't think I'd be like it's even with like Dark Souls 2, like the end of Dark Souls 2 was just so much.
You could see it as well. Like you were done.
Like you could see the steady decline as soon as I started playing the DLC.
Yeah.
How I just went from like I really enjoy this game to being like how are you even meant to do this? So like and that's why I was like I need to finish it now, because if I don't, I'm gonna lose my GD mind. But also like feasibly it wasn't worth me playing like at that point, because by the end of Dark Souls 2, once I had bashed my head against that same area in the DLC for an hour and a half, I had 2 people watching me because you had gone to make dinner.
Yeah.
And I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I've got Pike and Lizzie watching, and like it's great having them, but I've got 2 people in right now, and I'm fucking doing my own head in. So naturally, have you played Dark Souls 2?
No, never. Oh, the Epsilon. Well, his point, while he types a response to that, is another bit of advice I would give, and probably what you were leading into as well, is that like you shouldn't put yourself through agony to the benefit of the stream.
Yes.
And that's what another point of what I mean by choosing a game to stream, because if you're gonna be playing a game for X amount of hours every week, you want to make sure that it's a game that you're actually going to have fun with. The hard part is when, like, I'm not bragging at all, when you're in a position like myself and you, where we have, I would say, like, we have communities now. We have a community of people, and we're at that point where it's like, it's now turning into a thing where we maybe start focusing more on building that community up. And so the game choice that you stream comes into play more, because it's also like, yes, this is a game I'm going to enjoy streaming, but it's also thinking about how many people are going to watch me play this game, how many potential followers can I get from playing this game. And that might not, like, if you're starting off streaming, that's not what you should be focusing on at all.
No.
But when you get to the point where you are starting to make a bit of money from it and it is becoming a thing you're doing regularly, you do start to think about the analytics of it. Not too much. Like, I'm not there after every stream going over analytics or anything.
No, nah. I think also you have to have that kind of mindset as well. And like I have friends who are partners in on Twitch. I've got friends who do Twitch full time, and a lot of them they they multi-platform themselves, so they'll chuck stuff out on TikTok, they'll chuck stuff out on Twitter and all that sort of stuff. And one of them in particular tweeted, and I'm not sure if it was. I'm not sure the intention behind it outside of probably just them being like, it'll be good for your mental health. But it was like, if you're starting to stream Twitch on Twitch, turn off your follower count. So the amount of people your view count. So the amount of people watching you. Don't focus on your followers, or how many followers you have, and turn off that analytics thing that you get emailed at the end of your streams. But as a person trying to grow your community and trying to see what's done well and what hasn't, because look, at the end of the day, I would like to play a game that I enjoy, but I also want to grow a community, right? Like, naturally, it's kind of just par for the course there, that turning off that sort of stuff will hinder that kind of movement. Like, I wouldn't be able to see whether or not people actually enjoyed that content, or if people didn't, so
yeah,
I
don't think analytics is something you should never look at. It is definitely something you should look at. Yeah. But
and I think
not
as a person doing this sort of stuff, you should have that kind of mindset where it is a numbers thing. So naturally you want to look at that sort of stuff, but don't have that be the controller.
No.
Like if you, especially because like if you're enjoying something and you're able to create content from just the enjoyment of playing that game, i.e. me playing Fable right now, like I'm enjoying playing that, and people are coming to watch me because, one, they're like, hey, you're playing a game that I played when I was younger, and it's giving me that nostalgia hit, and they're sticking around because I have some kind of semblance of entertainment, I guess. That's that's the thing that I wanted from the get-go. I never really had a plan on what I was going to do, but I also, and I think we've talked about this before, like, we've both got a few mates who started playing like Warzone, and then they gained like 700 followers in the space of like 4 months, and then they were like, I don't like Warzone anymore, and then they'll stream again and they'll get like one viewer, and it's probably them on their own phone making sure that it's running properly, and it's sad. That sort of shit sucks, but
that leads into the other part, which is, and I think you've said a couple of your mates, the ones who are partners now, like, because you can also be a streamer who plays a game,
yes, yeah,
and only that game, and you can build an audience by doing that. But the thing was that with that is, like, it may eventually get to the point where you're kind of locked into that box of you are a Dota streamer or a League of Legends streamer, and the moment you think, man, I want to play Crash Bandicoot, I'm going to stream Crash Bandicoot, like, your followers have followed you because you play League of Legends. So when you go and play another game, you're risking maybe not many people coming, if any.
So my mate, she cracked it with Smite. And then I know that she got a bit burnt out, but she started playing Pokemon Arceus, and the people who watched her for Smite continued to watch because like, they were like, oh yeah, we'll just, I'm happy to watch because I know that you're going to go back to Smite eventually, so I'll just be here. And then she became a partner with Smite, so she gets creator codes, I think it is. So like, you can put her creator thing in, and whenever people buy stuff, she'll get like a % of that. And then Paladins reached out to her, and because she'd been playing that as well, and so she's also now a Paladins streamer too. So she kind of cracked it with everything that was going on with her. But then I had mates. I have another mate who was doing streaming full time, playing Minecraft, and she just got so sick of people like coming into her sessions, her streaming sessions, and like micromanaging her.
Yeah.
And when she stopped playing that, her view count dropped.
Yeah.
And as a result, I don't think she can. Oh, maybe she can. I don't know. I haven't spoken to her in a while. I probably should reach out to her and see how she's going. But yeah, give me 1 sec. I think something's just going on.
No,
but I'll be back in 2 secs.
Go for it. There's undoubtedly viewers who stick for the person. Yeah, and I mean, I think I would like to think maybe that's why you guys hang around in my streams. Is because you'd rather. Maybe rather's not even the right word. And Marcus as well. It's because you guys like us and the sorts of conversations we have. And I mean, majority of you guys here have seen the both of us play. Like, I come for the posters. You've seen Marcus and I play lots of different things. You're only here because we know each other in real life. I mean, again, that's fair enough. That again is probably a decent proportion of Marcus and my followers as well, are people that I actually know in real life. But it is an interesting thing when you're trying to grow on Twitch. I personally started watching you from DMC5 and the content is amazing. And you're from NZ2. Yeah. I remember streaming DMC5. That was... I probably streamed that game like twice. And then you get Pike come along and just remind us how Marcus smells.
Yeah. He's a stinky
But
fella.
yeah, it's like... It's interesting trying to grow on Twitch. There's all sorts of different videos and stuff you can probably find on YouTube of people like, this is the secret to success, or you can pay
there is no secret.
$50 a month or whatever for Ninja's fucking course.
I can tell you right now, there is no secret. You just have to start and you just have to create that consistency.
That's
it.
Was it the last podcast? Yeah, that video I think you put it in my Discord or somewhere. But
no, I will. I'll do it right now. Actually,
the video that Marcus is going to put in the Discord, I would recommend everyone in here who is either a content creator or thinking about becoming a content creator, streamer, YouTube, whatever. I would recommend watching the video. It is long, like it's 2.5 hours,
almost 2 hours,
almost 2 hours long. But it was a very, I wouldn't say eye-opening, but it was a good watch. As someone who is in the content creation space, I guess you could say.
It was when I watched that video, it made me realize very quickly how, to be honest, and I know this is such a meme, like it's such a meme doing this sort of thing, but like how appreciative I was of like the guys who consistently come through and watch my shit and all that sort of stuff. And when I started streaming, what I expected was just my mates to come and watch my shit on occasion. I couldn't in a million years have expected people from all over the world coming and watching me be an idiot for 2.5 hours to, while I play games. I know this sounds it sounds kind of cheesy, but I think if I didn't, I don't know how to word this other than like, if I didn't do well, or like if I had like a handful of streams where it was just like me and like one of my mates who's watching but not talking because like they just they're giving me like the viewer basically. If I continue to play throughout throughout that, and had like a handful of streams where I only had like 2 or 3 people watching. Then I probably would have been like, cool, that was fun. But I think that's going to be me. I wasn't sure if I'd make it through to a year. In all honesty,
Yeah. And
I've always got your streams on in the background though. I just like because when I'm the issue with watching other people is I don't have reserved time to be able to sit down and watch.
100%.
You know, like I always, and I feel like you probably feel the same way. I always feel shitty when I have to say, "Hey, I'm here, but I have to bugger off to make dinner," or like, "Good luck for the rest
it's
of the
like when
I've got to bounce." You know,
when I say BRB because I think I'm going to be gone for a bit, and then it's like, oh fuck, I'm gone for like an hour.
Yeah.
But I'm the same.
Like
anyone who streams out like in this
you've
group,
got shit going on outside of like that, so it's
I will definitely bring up anyone who, like anyone in chat who streams. I'll definitely bring. I'll at least have the stream open.
Oh, 100%.
And then comment when I can. Epsilon, your streams are always real late, so
yeah. Is why? Just out of curiosity, is it just because like you work to those points, or like because you're streaming at like 10:30 on our side of things, and like I can put you on my computer in the office, or I can watch you on my phone, but I also have to get up at like 6 to get ready for work and shit like that. So,
but I'm just saying that's the main reason I haven't been able to catch some streams. What's a life? Imagine.
Yeah. How is your life not completely consumed by you trying to create content? That's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, the other probably harsh reality to it is that streaming is just not for everyone.
No. Yeah.
You need to be a very specific type of person to continue doing something like this.
Yeah. You need to be like when we say you have to be a really specific person to be able to stream like this, like that consistency, I can't tell you what that kind of person is. All I know is that I'm one of them. You know, like there is because there are so many people who start streaming and then they're like, yeah, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore. And they just stop, you know?
You need to not be afraid to talk to yourself.
Yes.
That was that was a big struggle for me when I started, was talking, even though no one was there, or maybe people, because the thing with when you start off streaming is like, if you're not going to have people come in and talk and chat, you shouldn't just sit there and be quiet, because if someone sees your stream, your thumbnail, and they click on you and they come in and you're not talking and they hang around for maybe was like 20 seconds or something, they're not even that, like 10 seconds. If you don't say anything in that 10 seconds, they are probably just going to leave.
Yeah.
And it's the same for me. Like, I will sometimes go to Twitch and try and find like a cool streamer who's not got thousands of viewers and just see if there's anyone that I might want to start following. And if I go to a stream and there's no one talking in chat, but there's like a person who is just quiet or sitting there with their camera on, but they're not actually saying anything, I'll hang around for maybe 30 seconds or so just to see if they say anything. And then if they don't say anything, I'm probably just going to go find someone else. And that person might be fucking great. Like, that person I just left might be really good at streaming, but if they can't capture me in that random 30-second moment, I'm going to keep looking around.
Didier will kill channels. Like, I think Scott has kind of talked about it a little bit as well, where it, like, because I bring up Didier all the time. Like, that's why I'm just rambling, and that's why sometimes I'll forget what I'm talking about, because I have just been, all I've been doing for the last like hour and a half is talking. So obviously wires will cross and I'll mix stuff up. But Scott talked about how if you're going to be streaming, dead air is a killer for your channel. But also like I know some people will just sit there and be like, and that's not like covering dead air. You're just making noise at that point. Which yeah, let's be real. We're just
even if
making
you
noise,
just
right?
narrate what you're doing in the game, or
Yeah. Like if you've watched any YouTube during the early like 2000s where you'd watch like people do let's plays and stuff like that, that was all that content. That was just them being like, yeah, so now I'm gonna
like
I'm gonna
gameplay
do a quick triple
commentaries and
jump.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna do a quick triple jump. I'm just as I'm running around this corner, a quick scope the sky. You know, like I'm just thinking of like Hutch and Sea Nanas and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff because that's what I used to watch when I was younger.
100%.
But then like if you're narrating what you're doing, then at least you're creating like a topic, right? You're creating some kind of discourse.
You're
As
creating
soon as someone
a bit of content.
a bit of content. Let's go, baby. But it's not an easy thing to do. And like Vic, you kind of talked about how that was the thing that was probably the hardest for you. I think the hardest thing for me was trying to find something to actually talk about that wasn't just me rambling, you know? Because if I'm good at anything, it's talking. It's just like making noise, saying things, and all that sort of stuff. So
Bitching about work, like talk about anything. Doesn't even have to be about the game. Like as long as you're just you're talking. And like I think it was in Super Eye Patch Wolf's video. It might have been in other videos I've watched where I think it's Ninja's course where he fucking Ninja's course where he says like the thing about always having your how many viewers you've got up. Like I've had that thing hidden for like a year now. I never
like
see
when a new viewer comes
or
in,
the users thing.
you can get
there's
an extension that you can get where people like it shows your like the account that's currently viewing your thing, and like he's like, yeah, fucking
give them a shout out.
See them come in, give them a shout out.
Fuck
Tell them
no.
Hey, even if they haven't commented yet.
Please don't do that. Some people just want to lurk. Some people don't want to be called out, and like there'll be a lot of people. There, without doubt, there's probably dozens, if not hundreds, of people who have been into both of our streams at some point and never said anything. Maybe they've never followed. Maybe they just like take part in viewing the stream, but they've never said anything, and that's fine.
Like even the emails that you get at the end of streams where it's like new
unique viewers and stuff.
Yeah, unique viewers and stuff like that. Like sometimes, like particularly when it came to Dark Souls, the Dark Souls series, my unique viewers was skyrocketing, but my follow count was just like on average, you know, an average thing. But that was because of the game that I was playing.
Yeah, it's the same as Sekiro. Like it's what I've noticed with my Sekiro streams as well. There's so many unique viewers coming through. But they're obviously like they see me play and they're like, this guy's fucking shit, and so they'll go watch someone else.
Yeah. And like a lot of like the Souls stuff right now that people have kind of played through Elden Ring or something along those lines, a lot of people are now watching specific content, so like PvP stuff.
Yeah.
So when they see that you're playing Dark Souls and they click on you and you're not doing that, they're going to be like, okay, I've played this game 40,000 times. I don't need to watch you struggle against a Black Knight for 5 minutes. Which I didn't, by the way. I was fucking good at beating the Dark Knight.
If you want to see someone struggle against an enemy for 2 hours, tune in on Tuesday when I try and kill the Demon of Hatred. It's going to be fucking
shouts
fun.
out the Demon of fucking Hatred, honestly. Oh, I reckon you're going to... I reckon you're going to enjoy the fight. You'll get frustrated and then you'll beat it, but you'll do better than I did, for sure.
We'll see.
Because I fought against him for an hour and a half on like a random Saturday, and I think the only person watching was Lux. so I was just sitting there like bash my head against this wall.
On that, I will just say the cool thing. I remember that I wasn't there for the stream, but the cool thing with that was your clip to TikTok, which then brought in Joseph, who has remained a viewer since then. Not just for you, but he's also watches my streams as well, and Scott.
And Scott's, it's like
one TikTok from a random Saturday stream has led to a consistent viewer, which is
consistent part of like a community for all of us.
Took me an hour. I didn't go to bed till 2 a.m. All I'm hearing is that this demon of hatred boss fucking sucks, and it's
just so different to the rest of them. Like the closest thing that I can think of fighting him was the second phase of the gorilla fight, but like triple the amount of struggle that you're going through, because he's super sporadic, but like you can read his moves, but he hits like a truck. But he's also a big enemy, so that's why he kind of falls into the same thing as the gorilla. It's just a bit of a thing. But yeah, I would say I also think that like after streaming for a year, it didn't feel like a year.
I did the double gorilla one pack. That one, it didn't take that long for me to kill both gorillas. I think it was like the third or fourth go. I got both of them.
Well, I didn't realize when I fought the double gorilla for the first time that if you beat the white gorilla, the female gorilla or the brown one just gives up. Like that's just the end of the fight. So you can either fight both of them or just fight the white gorilla and avoid the female one, and you'll win the fight regardless. But the echo, there are a couple of things that you should probably look up.
I saw a video which was like, and I've unlocked the stuff. Like I've got that malcontent whistle. I've got the umbrella that negates all fire damage. So like I'm prepped for the fight. It's just getting myself to the point where I'm comfortable with the fight, which is probably going to take
with that as well. The malcontent whistle only works a handful of times.
I think.
Kind of like the music box in Bloodborne for Gascoigne. But yeah, I mean, like this last year, like when Scott subbed to me for the 12 months, that there was me being like, oh fuck, this is it's been a year. And to me, that's a sign of one, enjoying what I'm doing, and two, like just continuing to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
If you go into this sort of space, if you go into this with the sole intent of becoming the next Ninja, becoming the next PewDiePie, you're gonna have just a genuinely awful time. You're gonna have a really hard time, because you're gonna be trying all of this stuff, and it's not going to be showing like the same things that they're doing, but it's not going to show the results that they're getting, and that's going to frustrate you. Also, don't.
Hi, Beck. Got
it. Good hand. But also, please, for the love of God, do not give any content creators any money about them saying, I've cracked the algorithm. The algorithm changes. Every couple of minutes.
Twitch doesn't even have a fucking algorithm.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. Well, like, Twitch is whatever algorithm they're working with sucks cock anyway.
Twitch is the worst platform you could be on for discoverability.
I'm going to jump onto Twitch right now, so bear with me if my internet shits the bed really quickly. On my main screen right now, what I have got is a person called Official Drummer.
Nice.
I've never seen this person in my entire life.
I'll go to my Twitch.
There is nothing about his content that would make me want to watch him, so I don't know why it's being pushed to me. We've had this conversation before, I think, but it's very, very, very.
Why? I guess music must be popping off at the moment because I've got David Frank drums on my front page. And then next to that is someone playing Fall Guys. So interesting.
Yeah, I just don't know what that front page thing that they're doing. I assume it's got to do with like if you hit a certain amount of viewers, then you get put onto that page, as like the automatic playing thing. But like I've watched a couple of videos. Like naturally, I got curious, and it was like how to grow your channel in 2021. That those sorts of videos, and like one of them talked about with his followers, he put out a poll, and he's like, how do you go to Twitch and how do you watch what content do you watch? And 75% of the votes were I go to the people that I follow. I go to my follower list first above anything else. So being noticed in Twitch is hard because people get stuck to the people that they watch anyway. And oftentimes it is people who are more popular anyway, i.e., like XQC and stuff like that. I don't follow many, if any, big streamers outside of Northern but he's streaming at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning here. So it's not really someone that I watch on Twitch. I mainly just watch his YouTube content.
Yeah, I've got a few big streamers online at the moment, but they're like, I went through a big like culling of who I was following on Twitch.
Yeah, same.
Because I realized I have only followed these people because they are these people, not because I ever actually watched their streams. So I don't actually follow much people on Twitch anymore.
I watched
because I've got Summit. I watch a lot of Summit. I've got Critical because it's Critical, and I've got Germa because I think
Germa is an
cracks
enigma to me.
Yeah.
I don't understand because like his video, he's sitting in like a basement.
Oh, it's like the weirdest
like
thing.
his video quality, like there's no lighting or anything like that. It's just him with a webcam. It seems like, which is funny. Like that. I guess that's kind of part of the charm of him. But he's an enigma to me. I like he shows up on my TikTok like every day, and like the clips that people edit are funny, but I'm like, he can't just be doing that kind of stuff all the time. And then I talk to people who watch him, and then like, yeah, he kind of does. Like he's just a very odd dude.
He's super odd,
which is the kind of it's kind of cool that's the thing.
Because I messaged you earlier about Cult of the Lamb because I was watching him play it and I was like, "Fuck, this looks like a game you would enjoy." And he was, I don't know if you've got to it yet, but he was playing this mini game where like you put dice on a board.
Yeah, literally where I finished.
He had no idea how the fuck it worked. And it took him so long to figure out what he was meant to be doing. He was just putting them in anywhere, and he's like, "What the fuck? Like, I don't get it. It's not working." And then everyone in chat was just like, "You're a fucking idiot." But it was great. But Squid, how you doing?
Oh, Squid, welcome. But I don't really watch larger content creators. Joe, so my mate Joe, he came over last weekend, and he was like, "I want to show you. Come watch this real quick." And he goes on Twitch, and he just clicks on Amaranth, and she's just in the shower. She's literally just in the shower, and like she's just washing herself. And then like you look at the length of the stream, she's been showering for straight up like 3 hours. Like, like that is a commitment. Her water bill must fuck.
Someone's knocking on the door.
Oh,
BRB.
That's all right. I'll carry. So Amaranth. What do we reckon, team? Like, imagine the amount of water that she's using. They could build. Yeah, well, that's what I said. Like, I said to Giles, like, she's been in the shower for like, unless she's using like cold water the entire time, then that could potentially change up what's going on. But her water bill would have been insane. The idea of like the what's it called? The hot tub streamers and stuff like that. I don't give a fuck about that stuff. I could not care less. Make your money, you know? It's all about that. But it can't be comfortable, right? She can't have been comfortable after showering for 3 and the thing is like it has to be worth it for her, right? She has to be making like bucks for her to be able to do streams every 40, 50. Oh, sorry, for every basically every day, right? But they're all the same thing.
Go.
Megan here.
Go.
Hello.
Hi, Marcus.
How are we?
Yeah, put that on.
Wait. I can't hear. Hi.
Hello. How are we?
You?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Good. I like your hair.
Thank you.
Changed it recently.
It's blonde. Right? You want to see?
Yeah. Yes.
Hold this.
What am I doing?
I'm showing Marcus my hair.
Oh.
Look. It's blonde.
Yeah. Is it shorter?
So beautiful.
Oh, they can't hear me.
Yeah. I just wanted to say hi.
Okay.
I was just asking if it's shorter as well.
When did you get a haircut last?
Like 3 months ago.
No.
Maybe like every other time she's come through, she's had it tied up. So
yeah, you usually have your hair tied up when you come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty short.
There's a bit left in that yellow one if you want it.
You drank 2 Vs?
The yellow one's from yesterday.
2 Vs?
There's a bit.
Sitting here.
You're gonna make me drink day old V?
Sitting her up.
He's gonna make me drink day old V. Is that how much you love me?
I thought you said you needed a piss.
Day old V?
Go have a piss. We're gonna wrap up this podcast soon. We've been going for ages.
We better wrap up. We've been going for a hot minute.
Rude. How long have you been going for?
Almost 3 hours.
Holy
now, right?
shit!
Yeah.
Bit of a yarn.
I see why you might need 2 Vs.
Bit of a yarn.
Yeah. Bit of yarn.
Bit of a yarn. Yarn.
What did I miss? What were you talking about though?
Oh, I was just talking about Amaranth.
Oh, right.
And how she was doing that shower stream. But I was then saying how it has to be feasible for her, right? Like, because she's standing there for at least it had been going for like 3 hours, and that would mean to me, you know, that's the end of a stream for me. But for her, if she's just every minute making like a new sub, then it's only worth it for her, right? Like to just continue to
100%.
stand in the shower. But I think it might have been Steven, maybe. Yeah, I think it was. Saying how dehydrated her skin would be, like from that, because
I'm sure she's got like an OnlyFans as well, so she probably makes so much fucking money.
Yeah, and she probably just takes like at the end of her like streams, it's probably just like, yeah, I'll just quickly strip down, take a couple of photos, chuck that on there.
True.
I'll be good to go. Like that's what I'd do.
100%.
If I were in her position, she is doing exactly what anyone in her position would do.
Hey, you did say if you get 1,000 followers by the end of the year.
It was 2,000 actually.
Oh, 2,000. We're almost there.
But we're almost there. We're almost at
10% of the way.
But yeah, I don't follow many big streamers.
Yeah.
At all, actually. I think the biggest one that I follow is, like I said, Northern Lion. But I also just don't particularly. I don't consume this kind of content. I go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Above anything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it's par for the course, right? You just kind of run with it. But as a kind of finale to this thing before we start to wrap up, consistency is key. Be consistent when you can. Play what you enjoy, and if people also enjoy it as well, that's a big plus. If you're not enjoying something and it's bringing in viewers, don't feel shit if you stop playing that game and it stops bringing in and you stop bringing in viewers.
It's not worth it to put yourself through that.
Yeah.
Because you're getting viewers. It's better to play something you know you're going to enjoy.
Yes, exactly. And if you're like, oh, I still want to see the like viewership coming through, then book out a day where you play that game.
Yeah.
That's how you'll continue to keep
make it a semi-regular thing, maybe once a week or once a month or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And talk.
And lastly, talk. Yeah, just bloody
talk. I would recommend showing yourself.
Yes.
You don't have to, but it's for me and a lot of other people. I'm more likely to click on someone if I can see them with a cam,
with face cam,
rather than not having a cam. And that is not a direct dig at you, Epsilon. It is just it. I'm sure there's statistics that show it helps, but it's not like a necessity.
A lot of that comes from being able to see someone is the way to relate to them. As a way to relate to them. Because if you just look like like, for example, if you're on YouTube, that's slightly different because people are watching the content, what you're playing, and the commentary behind it. But here, they're watching everything, and it's all happening all at once. So they want to see your reactions on top of the stuff that you're doing. So when I go, bloody fuck, you know,
Discord did not want us to hear what you said first. When you went, your microphone was like, nah.
I even tried to be a little bit quiet so that it wouldn't pop off. But yeah, like people want to see your reactions as well. So it is something that I think I've frozen.
You're back.
I think I froze for a quick second. Good. It's also like, for someone who didn't have a whole lot of confidence in the way, like just in general, like I didn't have a lot of confidence like when I first started because I wasn't sure what I was meant to be doing. But as time goes on, like you know that like that is just another tool in your belt, right? Like being able to overreact to things, even if it's for the meme, is content.
Definitely. And final thing I would say is you shouldn't be spending too much money on it.
Oh, 100%. If you've got a rig already for playing games, you don't need to upgrade anything.
Just do what you can with what you've got.
Yeah. Like this thing here, this fucking thing right here cost me almost $300, which is actually no, it's like 200. Or just over. And this solidified this hobby for me.
Yep.
So if you're into like certain hobbies, you know that like there are points where you're going to spend a large sum of money on a certain like item or a certain thing. This was that certain thing for me.
Yeah.
So you don't need to have a bloody $3,000 rig with a $400 camera and a $900 mic. Like you don't need that stuff. I like looking back on my original. I'll find the video. I took one from my original, my second stream ever, I should say. I've got a video of it because I posted it on Snapchat and it did the memories thing. So I'll post that and you'll just see like I've got like this shitty, just god awful mic that I got for like $40 off of like one day or something like that. I've got.
I think I remember your original setup.
Yeah, and just it's where I've gone since then has been what I've done since then has been relevant for the growth that I've been able to kind of create, you know. And because it's something that I enjoy doing naturally, I'm going to put more money into it, right?
Exactly. But you don't have to at the start. No way.
No.
Just do what you can with what you got and go from there.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, right. Last thing. We didn't do it last episode. What is your recommendation?
I thought my recommendation was...
Oh, did we do it last week? Last time? Maybe it was.
Yeah, I think we did, but I think we kind of mixed our rankings and our recommendations.
Oh, true.
but maybe we could just do recommendations.
Unless there's something you want to rank that you've consumed.
I haven't really finished anything recently that I can. Yeah. Do you have one in mind?
Mine is, I mean, we've already kind of talked about it, but Better Call Saul.
Mm-hmm.
If you enjoyed Breaking Bad and you haven't watched it yet, I do recommend it. Not ASAP, but you should definitely do yourself a favor and watch that show because it's got 6 seasons out. Like it's it's way easier and better to consume it back to back than it was watching it week by week. So I would recommend Better Call Saul.
Yep, that's a good one. I am going to, based off the hour and a half that I've played of it, I'm going to recommend Cult of the Lamb. I have really enjoyed the last. I've really enjoyed like the beginning of the game, so I haven't even really scratched the surface of it yet. But I'm enjoying that so far. There's literally been nothing else that I've really taken in over the last couple of weeks that I can recommend outside of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be. I think that's going to be my one. Yeah.
Nice.
Cult of the Lamb. If you haven't got it.
Been looking at that game today, wondering if I should get it.
If I'll pop it up in my Discord and I'll get a consensus, and if people want to see me play it tomorrow, then I'll play it tomorrow.
Cool.
Outside of thing, if I even if it's only for like an hour at the beginning of the stream, and then I jump back to Fable or whatever. But yeah, I would be keen to play it.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, that brings us to the end.
Yeah. Yeah, that brings us to the bittersweet end of Bitter Content episode
5.
5? Oh, we forgot about. We'll pick it up next.
We'll have to get our condolences out next time. But
yeah.
For now, thank you everyone for hanging out. This has been episode 5 of the Bitter Content podcast. You have been wonderful, all of you.
You've all been great. You've all been fantastic.
We do the podcast every second Saturday, so we'll be back not next Saturday, but the one after.
Yeah.
You can check out Marcus here. Here we go.
Shuts out.
I think everyone here is already, but if you want to join the Discord, feel free. But that is going to be us. I'm thinking about Coddle the Lamb, just not like in the Animal Crossing aspect. Yeah, I've seen there's like you manage your cult.
It's like it's like a village manager situation. Slightly different. It's a little bit more straightforward. It's like give them a job to do, feed them, clean up their shit. That's it. That's all you really need to worry about. They can get a little bit. They have like levels and stuff like that, but it's
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Something that I haven't quite tackled yet. But that is us. Thank you for coming through, everyone. Appreciate you all being here. Anything else? Any final words of encouragement? Be you. Do you.
Do you. Be you. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care.
Shouts out. Catch you later. Bye.